Every year, brilliant minds come together for 1 week in the Sonoran Desert to showcase and celebrate the growing innovation, creative, and entrepreneurial ecosystems of the Southwest. Led by Startup Tucson and Ranch House Media, 10 West Impact Festival unites our audiences to gain the knowledge and inspiration they need to make a difference within their own careers and communities. Welcome to 10 West Talks, our podcast where we broadcast the 10 West mission and vision to the world.
This is Keneshia Raymond. I am the Director of Entrepreneur Success and Access to Capital at Startup Tucson. I'm so excited to have a friend on the show with me today. Andre, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andre Whittington. I am the Executive Director of Growth Partners Arizona. Excited to be here with you, Keneshia.
We are excited to have you, and I'm so very grateful that you came out to the 10 West Festival. This is your first 10 West Festival?
Yes, very first, and it is amazing.
What are the things you're looking forward to? What made you come out to the 10 West Festival?
I would say what I'm looking forward to is really hearing some of the panelists speak, hearing some of the keynote speakers. Really excited about the pitch competition that's happening this evening. I think one of the things that made me come out was the excitement around the 10 West Impact Festival. And also I wanted to learn more about how we could better partner with you all to champion the vision and really just get to meet some amazing small business owners and the community.
Well, we're excited to have you out so you can really see all of the entrepreneurs we have in Southern Arizona. You are the Executive Director of Growth Partners Arizona. You just made a year.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Excited. Tell me about your background and what brought you to Growth Partners.
Absolutely. So my background, I am an Army veteran. So I spent a few years in the military, infantry, which is totally has nothing to do with finance. And then I spent about 11 years working on for Fortune 50 on the corporate side, dealing with strategy, business development. And then when COVID hit, I really wanted to do more impact, mission-focused work. And so I began to get into the nonprofit space, started up my own consulting company, did some work in the nonprofit space, but my consulting company was taking the same field as my corporate position, right? I was doing more mid-size, large-size company work, working with nonprofits. I found a passion working with nonprofits, but all of my nonprofit work was in this Georgia, in Atlanta. I was working with an organization, Our Village United, and I wanted to do more work in my own state, my own backyard. And so the opportunity, I was mentoring a business owner in Phoenix, and he told me about Growth Partners Arizona. And so I looked it up, applied, and here I am today. Yeah.
Well, I think it helps a lot with your role, with your background in entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. And as you're going forward and growing and your new strategic plan for Growth Partners Arizona, how are you going to infuse your background in entrepreneurship into the work you do to continue to help pushing entrepreneurs forward?
Really great question. So as an entrepreneur, as I was scaling my business, one of the things I realized was that being an entrepreneur is very lonely, right? You build by yourself, you do everything within your company by yourself. And another thing I noticed was you can do all of the access to capital training that you want to do, but there's still a barrier when it's time to deploy the capital.
Yes.
And so for me, what I wanted to do was to get on the other side of, instead of capital readiness, focus more on capital deployment. And in my position now, I can do that. And so I am operating Growth Partners Arizona through the lens of an entrepreneur. And so what I'm looking to do is build more coalition, community collaboration, bringing in more resources for small businesses, and then also getting out of the way of good organizations like Startup Tucson, like CIC, like Local First Arizona, right, that are amazing at the technical assistance piece. Mm-hmm. So we are niching down and really focusing on being a capital partner and a financial intelligence, counterpart within the state, where we will come in and focus more on the finance of small businesses and allow experts like yourself and everyone else to help those small businesses build up. And so once they're ready to deploy capital, we can provide it to them. And then the other piece of that is being an advocate for small businesses, right? We know that character-based lending, alternative lending is heavily needed in the state. And a lot of our CDFIs, I mean, they're doing a really good job, but there's still a gap that needs to be filled. And so we want to be the organization that can fill that gap for those small businesses and the community.
What do you think the barriers are for other CDFIs to do this work?
You know, there are a few. I think one is the type of capital that we can secure as CDFIs, right? Interest rates are going up. It's very competitive. You know, the CDFI fund are in conversations now to reduce the amount of funds that's available to CDFIs. And so the cost of capital is a barrier, a big one. And then outside of that, the reach, right? We have a lot of CDFIs that are here, but they're also nationally focused. And so they have other areas that they have to make sure that they're shoring up to. And so in the state of Arizona, our financial institutions are also limited, especially in rural communities. So I think the barriers for those CDFIs are going to be barriers of entry into those communities, barriers to securing the right amount of capital to create alternative loan funds, and then just the partnership piece, right? I think that's a big one. And so we have to do a better job at making sure we're working more together as an organization within the CDFI space in the state. And we're working on a few things to get that done, but I would say those are the barriers right now.
I think that's a lot of the conversations that we all are having. That's a lot of how do we make sure that, one, everyone knows what each other are doing, but then how do we work together to kind of move that throughout the state? Because we're not hitting pockets. We're not hitting tribal community. We're not going to more rural areas.
Right.
And then how do we do that? Because we are very much all spread out. But if we were to work together, we could like hit every corner.
Absolutely. I mean, collaboration is key, right? And one of the other barriers too is going to be the cost of the cost to deploy it.
Yes.
So to do a $10,000 or a $50,000 loan costs the exact same as if I'm doing a $100,000 loan, right? But the benefits to the organization from a financial standpoint, it will outweigh, the decision and to do micro lending because you have to survive as an organization. And one of the things that we're doing we're interested in exploring is how do we leverage AI and technology in the underwriting, piece and helping us to reduce the cost of doing some of those loans so we can automate certain things to kind of reduce the cost. So we're exploring some of those things so that we can say, hey, we can do micro lending at a high volume, but let's leverage technologies, let's leverage AI to help reduce and offset some of those personnel costs.
Do you worry that with AI, you're going to lose the people first side of things?
You can, right? I think, but I think for us, everything I do is always going to be done with intention. And so we will test, learn, then scale. And so for us, our AI will be always behind the scenes, right? And until the industry has caught up with where AI is at, we can't say that we're going to lead, with it. But I think some of the things that we'll do is leverage AI to do some of those behind the scene things like writing a credit memo.
Yes.
Right. As one of our team members, Alexa, who manages our Kiva loan, there's a lot of cost that goes into the Kiva and setting up the stories and things like that. How do we leverage AI to transcribe those conversations that are happening via Zoom and create the story, right, to kind of reduce the manpower? How do we automate the underwriting process where we're scrubbing, the online application and automatically creating those loan documents? So I think for us, if we are able to leverage technology in that way, we can focus more on the touch points, right? And not spend so much time with doing all of the administrative and technical stuff.
I like that, one, you're using the lean strategy. You're testing before you're just going all in.
Yes.
But also that you're still putting people first. And I think that a lot of times when we're having the conversations about AI, people are worried that they're going to miss that connection. And like, we finally got it back, right? We're out in public. We're doing our thing. So how do we keep that going? So we've known each other for a year since you started at Growth Partners. And over the last couple months, we have been working together on the BIPOC Loan Fund. And now we are partners in expanding the BIPOC Loan Fund in the new year to Phoenix. Tell us about why you're excited about the BIPOC Loan Fund. And then what are your hopes as we expand to Phoenix?
Oh, I am very excited about the BIPOC Loan Fund. When I first heard about it, I was excited. And I share with Danny Nee at CIC that I want to help to take this outside of Southern Arizona because it's really needed. And so For us, we're actually looking at how can we take the BIPOC Loan Fund and expand it statewide with intention. And so we had conversations where we were looking at Phoenix, but one of the things that stood out to me was we have a unique opportunity to partner with Northern Arizona as well. And so the plan, as we kind of build this out, is going to be looking at some of the more rural communities like southern Phoenix, outside of that area in central Arizona. And then through a partnership with Moonshot that I'm working on, I am really considering taking what we're doing with the BIPOC Loan Fund and bring it out to Flagstaff and the rural communities out there through Moonshot. And so we just have to kind of sit and talk a little bit about that. But I think it's a really good opportunity for us to, by mid-year, have a statewide character-based product. And part of the conversations that we've had around the BIPOC Loan Fund, other organizations and, city-led funds, they're very interested in character-based lending because they know that that's the way that we really need to go. And so if we are looking to close the wealth gap, make things more equitable across the state, we have to have products that support the needs of our communities. And the BIPOC Loan Fund is one that does that. And I'm very excited about that, the BIPOC Loan Fund. And I have a lot of national partners I have one that's coming here in December to learn more about it. And I haven't told you about that yet, so this is my first time telling you.
Oh,
so
we're on the mic.
So as you can see, I'm very excited about the BIPOC Loan Fund and what it's going to do for the community and our small businesses.
If you don't know about the BIPOC Loan Fund, make sure you check out cictucson.org /BIPOC Loan Fund. The BIPOC Loan Fund is a character-based lending product that CIC and community partners came together in 2020 to put out into the community. It's very much community managed loan fund, and you can learn more about that on CIC Tucson's website, as well as you can catch us later with Danny Nee, where we'll be talking all about the BIPOC Loan Fund. We are super excited that we are able to scale this into Phoenix, and super excited about our partnership and excited to see where we can continue to take this. It's exciting for other people to be excited about the work that we're doing.
Yes.
And especially in the BIPOC space, especially in Southern and in all around Arizona. And I think the rural areas are very much missed.
Yes.
And I think it's the connections that we make that are going to continue to grow this.
Yes.
So leave us with one thing, Andre, one thing that will help people push forward to the end of the year. What is that one thing they should do, one thing they should read, one thing they should work on in your best radio voice?
Well, let's see. So I would say one thing that you can do right now to really prepare you for next year is to give yourself grace. I think that this year has been a spectacular year for Growth Partners Arizona. We've done a ton. And I think there's a lot of organizations out there that have done a lot. And a lot of times we don't take time on the back end of the year to take a break, take a breath, and really enjoy and look back on where we've come from and then look at where we're going. So I would say my takeaway is to pause, take some time to relax, celebrate all of your successes, big and small, so that way you can kick the year off really strong. And just remember, the more you partner, the bigger the impact. The more you work together, the more people are going to be supported. You can't do anything by yourself.
That was perfect. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for coming out to 10 West. We hope you'll come back next year.
Of course.
We hope you'll continue to visit Tucson.
Absolutely.
And we look forward to collaborating with you in the future. Thank you guys again for joining us on the 10 West podcast. Make sure you check us out online.
Awesome.
10 West Impact Festival is produced by Startup Tucson and Ranch House Media. The 2023 edition is presented by the Arizona Commerce Authority and brought to you by Arizona Arts Live and Pima Community College. The 10 West podcast is made possible by Cloud Microphones. To learn more and view the full list of sponsors and partners, visit 10west.com.